Currently, the industry is chewing up Lizzo and preparing to spit her out. When Lizzo blew up in 2019, Homegirl was the spectacle, entered this black curvy woman twerking on stage while simultaneously playing the flute. Is she a rapper, a singer? Where did she come from? Were some of the questions people asked amid her 2019 breakthrough. Like I said, she was fat, black, but with no apologies, which made a few too stunned to speak. Because she wasn't afraid to stand out, a trait society does not expect from those of a larger size. But she defied that notion with her message of self-acceptance and body positivity. Lizzo was projected to be the next star that'll dazzle our eyes, keeping those hits coming for the foreseeable future. However, somewhere along her journey, her walk of fame has gradually morphed into a walk of shame. Once her hit streak quickly dried up. She's about to release her 5th studio album titled b.i.t.c.h next month, but no one's talking about it. For many reasons which I will cover in this video. This is a story about Lizzo, how she's been chewed up by the industry after being labeled one of the most promising stars in recent times. I'll talk about how she became a target for scrutiny and why you're only as good as your last hit. I am Don, your pop culture boy. Let's get into it.
Catastrophic.
Now, I'm sure some of y'all are probably saying, me stating Lizzo being chewed up and spat out is a little blunt or harsh thing to say, but I think it's important to not sugarcoat the reality of fame on my channel. As regards to this story, there is something we all can learn from this, which is while fame can knock on honestly anyone's door, keeping said fame is hard business and is not for the faint of heart. Furthermore, in response to a lot of people saying we need to bring back shame, nah, shame has never went anywhere. It's just that the people y'all want to shame do not have any. What we need to bring back is harsh criticism or honest bluntness or simply telling it like it is again. Now that I've got that rant out the way, the turning point in Lizzo's career, meaning when things started going sour like the milk in my fridge that I keep forgetting to throw away, was when she did that song with Cardi B. But before we dive into that, let's explore what Lizzo was working with prior her current downward trend. Lizzo went from being an absolute nobody, i.e. outside her core audience, no one was checking for her, to a global sensation in 2019 after her song Truth Hurts went viral, attributing her claim to fame feeling meteoric to the general public. But like many emerging stars in the current decade who got coined an overnight success, this was not the case for Lizzo. Truth be told, Lizzo is not an overnight success. Far from it, actually. She literally went from the trenches for over a decade before the seeds she sowed started growing at age 31. And her hit single Truth Hurts, which initially flopped, sparked disappointment after its performance didn't match her high expectations when it was released 2 years prior before gaining momentum in 2019, becoming a #1 hit in the United States, catapulting her to stardom. In 2017, when the track premiered, the artist describes its initial failure to garner attention as one of the darkest days of her career. Ricky Reed, one of Lizzo's longtime producers, told Billboard magazine in 2019, "You can cheat your sound to find an entry point to get to nice placements on Spotify or Apple Music or on the radio. You say, what's popular sounds like this, and you can get some success sooner." But with Lizzo, it was about patience. The process was slow, but the payoff when you don't compromise your art is that you sound like no one else. Side note, I'm starting to have problems with these glorified backstories where one goes through the slow process of hardship, of going through the trenches and struggling before making it big as this rite of passage. And while sure it is inspirational, what they fail to tell you is that people like Lizzo who struggle and experience major setbacks but kept going isn't the default mindset for the majority trying to make it big as an artist. What they fail to tell you is that Lizzo is an anomaly. And what we a lot of times end up doing is glorifying that it is okay to be vulnerable in a system that is exploitative when we do not tell the full story, which also sometimes discount those who got there faster by being smarter. For some reason, those stories aren't, praise at the same level for some reason. Now, after the success of Truth Hurts, which spent 7 weeks atop the Hot 100, in turn making Lizzo the new it girl in music, followed multiple hits that kept the singer relevant, on the tip of everyone's tongue. Another one of her songs, 2016 Good as Hell, also started climbing the charts, before peaking at number 3 on the Hot 100 in 2019 as well. Additionally, her 2016 EP, Coconut Oil, made its debut on the 200 chart that same year, making Lizzo the unofficial queen of sleeper hits. In 2020, in addition to performing, she won 3 Grammy Awards for the deluxe version of her third studio album, 'Cause I Love You, and was nominated for other awards from industry institutions such as BET and the AMAs. Building her brand off the body positivity movement and being a big girl worked for Lizzo in many ways, as she was able to display big girls can be sexual and confident too. She posed nude for her 'Cause I Love You album cover, while not exposing her goodies of course, and sharing similar nude-natured or twerking content on her social media. The performer got a lot of praise for being open and unashamed, but there were cases the public pushed back on the singer in major ways for her revealing choices, while accusing her of being attention-seeking, such as the case where Lizzo wore a black oversized t-shirt dress with a large circular cutout in the back, fully exposing her butt cheeks, and a black thong underneath, paired with black fishnet stockings, at a Los Angeles Lakers vs Minnesota Timberwolves NBA game at the Staples Center in late 2019. During the game, when the Laker girls performed to her song Juice, Lizzo stood up and twerked along courtside, intentionally exposing her butt cheeks for everyone to see. The Jumbotron showed her dancing, making the outfit highly visible to the live audience and TV viewers. Needless to say, this went viral on the net, sparking major backlash. Many argued that a family-friendly basketball game with children was not the place for such revealing attire while twerking. Comments included calls for her to be banned from arenas, or that it was unhygienic or disrespectful. Now, personally, I didn't see anything wrong because haven't y'all ever seen Cakes before? People were, acting like Lizzo traumatized them for life. On the other hand, though, I can see where some were coming from who cited that children were present in a, time and place argument, but calling for her to be banned was a bit extreme. And what about the NBA girls? Granted, their outfits doesn't reveal their entire cheeks, but they wear cheerleader outfits where, their bati jaws be showing, and you can see under their skirts, so what's the real problem? The outrage seemed mainly driven by fatphobics, in my opinion. People are not mad that Lizzo showed her backside. They hate fat bodies and the black girls housed in them. And they hate us even more when they can't control us, limit our social mobility, or dictate when and where, and we are allowed to celebrate who we are and how we look. We look good as hell, and we know it. That's exactly what pissed folks off, wrote Ariel Marie from Teen Vogue in defense of the artist at the time. Lizzo directly addressed critics via Instagram stories and interviews, saying she was inspired by Rihanna's revealing looks, and clapped back at her naysayers, stating, "I just want to spread that love, and also spread these cheeks. And if you really, really don't like my ass, you can kiss it." She also said negative criticism had no effect on her, and that she stays in her positive bubble. Another person who pushed back on Lizzo is Azealia Banks. A few months prior to the Lakers game situation, Twitter gangster Azealia Banks dragged Lizzo in a fat-shaming rant online. Gangster on the interweb, but a model citizen in real life, Azealia Banks accused Lizzo of stealing cupcake swag on her IG stories, said she hate Lizzo FATASS, and that she doesn't have enough sex appeal to be a effing female rapper.
My fat Lizzo! I hate you, fat Lizzo. I fucking hate you, girl. I hate you for coming out with that floss up your fucking fat ass.
Bruh. Jesus Christ. But it didn't end there. According to Nylon.com, Banks commented on Instagram that Lizzo's success was the result of the public and the media keeping a fat girl joke going for so long. Banks called the so-called phenomenon peak boredom and went on to say that Truth Hurts isn't that good, additionally calling Lizzo a dumpy fat girl spectacle and insisting that Lizzo has only been allowed to shine because she's a millennial mammy. Now back to that song she did with Cardi B. the marker of things going downhill for the rapper/singer. Released on August 13, 2021, Rumors featuring Cardi B, which marked Lizzo's first release in over 2 years at the time, following her 2019 album 'Cause I Love You. A hip-hop and funk-infused clapback at the naysayers. Rumors amplifies the rumors about the artist like adding fuel to the fire, basically telling the haters they can believe whatever they want. Haters do what they do. All the rumors are true. Rumors debuted at number 4 on the Hot 100, which is an amazing debut, but it fell off the chart after 7 weeks, compared to her other high-charting songs, which spent over 40 weeks. So, Rumors lacked longevity. Now I know what y'all are probably thinking, but she released About Damn Time, an absolute banger if I might add, as the follow-up single, which went number 1 and spent 42 glorious weeks on the chart. Very true, but after that, that's where her hit streak ended. She hasn't secured another since. Also, her consequent album, her fourth, Special, released in 2022, is yet to be certified platinum, unlike her previous 'Cause I Love You. Furthermore, the singles released to support her upcoming 5th studio album titled b.i.t.c.h hasn't charted. And if that isn't enough, Lizzo's image would take serious damage due to being involved in one of the most explosive controversies in 2023. In August 2023, 3 former backup dancers, Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez, sued Lizzo, her production company Big Girl Big Touring, and dance captain Charlene Quigley. They accused Lizzo and her production company of harassment, weight shaming/fat shaming, and hostile work environment, and other claims that includes religious and racial harassment. Now, the specifics of these claims are Lizzo allegedly took the dancers to a nude performance club in Amsterdam and pressured them to touch the performers' breasts, catch dildos launched from their vaginas, and eat bananas protruding from the performers' vaginas. I'm sorry, but what? Bruh, this cannot be real. While Lizzo denounced these claims as false, that didn't stop the internet from turning on her, mainly because the allegations contradict her entire career and brand, which is supported by female empowerment and body positivity. Additionally, a former wardrobe stylist, Asha Daniels, filed a similar lawsuit shortly after, alleging sexual/racial harassment and disability discrimination. In regards to the case with the 3 dancers, Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez, the claim that they were terminated due to weight gain was dismissed by a judge, among other claims in late 2025. However, the claims that the 3 dancers were subjected to sexual harassment will continue despite Lizzo's defense calling the lawsuit a fabricated sob story. And apparently, 18 witnesses who worked with Lizzo on the Special tour, which is where it all allegedly happened, submitted sworn statements refuting the claims made by Davis, Williams, and Rodriguez. Meanwhile, no employees have corroborated the plaintiff's story in regards to them being forced to touch the dancers or to catch, touch, or eat fruits from the naked bodies of the ex-workers, or not yet. Based on my research. Like I said, this case is still in progress of going to trial, but Lizzo's team did submit another motion to dismiss those nasty claims from going to trial, while the dancer's lawyer urged the court to allow the claims to proceed to trial. So I guess there's more to expect. Now, in regards to the lawsuit filed by the stylist, Asha Daniels, Lizzo was dismissed as an individual defendant in the stylist's case, but her company Big Girl Big Touring remains as a defendant. Asha Daniels alleged that they made racist and fatphobic remarks and denied her medical care, leading to anxiety and PTSD. She also claimed that she experienced a culture of racism and bullying while working on costumes during the European leg of Lizzo's Special tour. Now, back in 2025, attorneys for Big Girl Big Touring asked for summary judgment in order to put an end to what they claim is a meritless case against the company. According to People, Lizzo's legal team basically spun the same narrative that the stylist is lying, making up stories for attention, meanwhile cannot find a single person to confirm her claims, and to dismiss the case before trial. But that motion was denied and a jury selection was granted in late 2025, and that's the last we've heard about that case. Notice what's happening to Lizzo since her last album underperformed. Sure, the lead single About Damn Time was a smash, no questions about it. But on the other hand, the following singles from the project didn't do numbers or were culturally important, making that era feel like the plastic bag Katy Perry sung about. Not remarkable in the wider ethos of pop staples. And I'm not implying that everything an artist releases need to be overly successful. Rather, this is what the industry expects when your last project performed beyond expectations. They expect their acts to do it again. When we look at her career now, it feels weird, like she's been left out to dry. And Lizzo isn't the only person this happens to. Now, this is only my opinion, but Lizzo is out here doing things you only see stars do when they are exiled. And I don't think it's a good sign for her career. And that is the shift into the conspiracy/exposing pipeline. Now, this is good for my business, but the industry doesn't like it when you talk about what's happening internally or when you expose them. Her out here talking about the algorithm, addressing Azealia Banks, oversharing and talking about the Epstein conspiracy, trying to clear Jay-Z and Zoran Mamdani's mom and claiming it's all distraction after they were allegedly mentioned in the files. Now, according to the internet, in a video posted on TikTok, Lizzo appeared to express frustration with what she describes as people drawing conclusions about public figures based solely on their names appearing in these so-called you-know-what files. The singer suggests that mentions alone should not be treated as proof of criminal wrongdoing and urges viewers to consider context. In the now deleted video, she asked, "What did it say Jay-Z did? He was there in 1996? Come on people, you are falling for it." In addition, she appears to push back against criticism related to Diddy's parties and mentions filmmaker Mira Nair, the mother of New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani, suggesting that attention is being unfairly directed towards certain individuals. "You're distracted. You just want Mamdani to be the bad guy," she said. In regards to the algorithm, Homegirl is out here posting TikToks about how the algorithm switched up and isn't showing her fans her music, like she's a YouTuber, like myself, or an ultra small artist. And if you're asking, well, what's wrong with that? That's not the point. The point I'm making is artists who are being fully supported by their labels do not do this because they don't have to, which tells me Lizzo knows she's being cut off by the machine that once supported her. And to prove this, she recently went on this crash out session accusing Atlantic Records of not promoting her soon to be released album titled b.i.t.c.h. Flopping aside, titling your album the B word, especially in today's sensitive and overanalyzed climate, is bound for your ass to be ignored by your label. In a video posted on her backup TikTok account, she said, "We cannot flop. My album is coming out in 23 days. Have you made your pre-order yet? I'm posting every single day because this algorithm wants to see me in the Kia Asylum and bitch, I'm fighting for my life." I'm asking the same question because I definitely approved the billboards in the marketing meetings. I definitely approved ads, but crickets, said Lizzo in a separate video replying to a fan asking about promotion. "I don't know, but I'm crashing out on my label right now because I just really I feel like there's not any marketing money being put towards my ideas." In terms of cultural relevance in the realms of music, what has Lizzo done in these streets? Honestly, not much. She hasn't cranked out a wide variety of high quality, broad appealing tracks, so she isn't really seen as a priority. And Homegirl just got here, which makes sense, but the industry nowadays do not care about nurturing their artist growth like they did in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Additionally, she's not seen as this rarity or one in a million artist where the industry will support her no matter the cost. Nowadays, you only get one shot to go big, and if you fumble, the industry will turn you into a pack and move on to the next person. Taylor Swift said it herself. In closing, the industry has washed their hands of Lizzo because she don't benefit them no more. But there is a silver lining here. Lizzo has been here before. Her career is akin to the iceberg theory. We only see the highlights, which is just the tip of the iceberg. But Lizzo been through it all, from living out of her car and performing wherever a mic resides in order to be seen. And I'm not glorifying her struggle here. I'm only making a valid call out and to magnify that she survived that, so she can damn well survive this. What do you think? I am Don, your pop culture boy, and I will see you in the next one.